and the user action and user data. So you see what are the function call. The function call to send a message, and then we say that it has to have some inputs or has some connection between earlier user inputs. And we want to do it statically, meaning that we don't want to run the phone. At least for this paper that we don't run the phone, we just look at the code, look at the bytecode or source code, and then we figure it out whether this is good or not, this app is good or not. What are the critical function calls? And we manually label them. They could, be function calls to access file systems, network access, send information to the network, access personal information, phone ID, and contact information. And what we do is that we look for some sort of a graph model based on the inputs of the program. We build some sort of a graph, and based on the graph, we can identify the sensitive function calls. For example, read a file, and then we identify the user inputs and actions, and those function calls that takes user input and actions. And for all the function calls that are triggered by the user triggers, that translated into that function calls has to have inputs, the arguments to the functions has to be outputs of earlier user inputs. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit more of that, but they are somehow follow this def-use relation. This is good, this is allowed. If the function does something on its own with no connection to any earlier user authorization, then we say it's bad. This work, the preliminary version was showed up last year in the IEEE most workshop, and the full version is under review.